Hello and welcome. I'm David, and today we're going to talk about anterior knee pain. So anterior knee pain means the front of your knee, pain on the front part of your knee, either knee or both knees. It's very common, and there's a very real and common postural reason for the pain as well. And it has to do with the position of your knee as it relates to the position of your hips. So let me explain. As you know, I've had a clinic for many years in San Francisco where I treated people with all kinds of pain and anterior knee pain. So pain on front of the knee was one of the very common things that I saw. And the common postural causes were always very similar. Specifically, from the side view, if I was looking at someone from the side view, I would notice that they were pitched forward. We call it ski jumping. And what that means that the weight is towards the front of the toes. So if you have knee pain on the front of your knee, you might want to just start and close your eyes and just notice where your weight distribution is. Is it towards your toes, towards your heels? Where do you notice it? Now, every time with knee pain in the front of the knee, the pelvis is sitting forward of the knee joint. And that matters because the center of gravity for all of us is about right around our hip joints. And as we pitch forward, either in a ski jumping way, meaning we go towards our toes, or as the hips sway forward, it shifts the center of gravity over towards the front of the knee. So rather than gravity going right through from the hip joint through the middle of the knee joint, now the stress is all on the front of the knee. And that causes overstress, and that can cause pain over time. So we want to fix that. And the reason that you're pitched forward is a couple things. One is that it means the muscles on the front side of your body aren't quite doing their job. Okay, and we're not treating the knee pain, we're treating the postural cause for the knee pain. This is very different. And this is why we want to get at the root issue here. So today we're going to go right after the muscles that are responsible for pulling your hips back in line, right after the muscles that are responsible for stabilizing that knee and protecting it and taking the pressure off it. So one last thing before we get started, and that is there's always an emotional component as well to any pain. So ask yourself right now, what's going on in your life? What's happening in your life right now that could be causing some fear or stress emotionally that might be contributing to the pain? Oftentimes with knee pain in the front, it's about fear of moving forward. So you're pitching forward, you're looking towards the future, and it's about fear of moving forward in some way. It could be in a job, or it could be in your personal life in some way where you're having trouble making a decision, you're having trouble kind of stepping forward into that new role or that new life, whatever it is for you. But stop and think about it for a minute, and you want to address that. You want to address whatever fear that is and meet it head on. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get started with some exercises right now. Okay, so first we're going to start with an exercise where you need to sit. So you're going to sit down in a chair, and I've got a height here. I've just got a block that is chair height. So any chair, a couch, anything will do. Just make sure you don't sink down too much in the couch. You want your hips and your knees about the same level if you can. You want to get your feet about fist width apart and pointing straight ahead. Okay, and now what you're going to do, you want your ankle directly underneath your knee. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the front of your hip bones and you're going to roll them forward like you're going to create a little arch in your lower back. So the opposite would be slouching. This time you're going to take the front of your hip bones and you're going to roll forward to induce an arch in your lower back. You're going to raise your left heel up off the ground. Keep this little arch. You're going to lift this right foot up and down off the ground. So to give you the front view, feet are straight, hips rolled forward, and you're going to lift the left heel up. Right foot is lifting up and down off the ground. Now, if you're in a chair, make sure you're not leaning against the back of the chair. You want to scoot forward a little bit so that you're kind of in the middle of the chair, heel up, feet straight, hips rolled forward to create that arch in your lower back, and you're lifting one foot up and down, just like that. You're not going to get very high. If you're getting up here, it means you're losing that arch. Okay, you shouldn't be able to get it that high. Okay, when the hips are rolled forward to create that arch in your lower back, this is about as high as you should get it, maybe just a couple inches off the ground. And we're going to go 20 of these on each side. So keep the hips rolled forward, and you want to go just about this pace. You don't want to go too slowly, and you don't want to go really quickly either. You don't want to bounce it. You're just going medium pace, up and down, up and down. When you get to 20, switch. So right heel goes up, hips roll forward, and then left foot lifts up and down off the ground. You're going to feel some work on the front of your hips, and that's the whole idea. We want the front muscles of your hips working on, awake, alive, and doing their job. And this is part of the muscle group that keeps your hips back over your ankles instead of swayed forward or pitched forward like a ski jumper. So again, just 20 of these, and we're going to go one more set. Again, so switch, left heel goes up, right foot up and down, keep the hips rolled forward. If you're losing it, get it back. And you might start to cramp. If you start to cramp in this deep hip flexor, just take a break for a second, rub it out and go back. And if you need to switch legs while the cramp comes out, do that too. Whatever you need to do, but keep the hips rolled forward, up and down. And when you get to 20, you're going to switch again. Right heel goes up, left foot up and down. Keep the hips rolled forward in that arch. I'm going to keep reminding you of that because it's very important, because you don't want to go here because it changes the muscle work entirely. So sitting up as tall as you can, keeping that arch in your lower back, lifting that foot up and down 20 times. Okay, next, you're going to grab a pillow from your couch or a yoga block if you have it. A lot of things work. Just fold the pillow in half if you have a couch pillow or a pillow from your bed or a yoga block. Just put it right between your knees. Again, feet straight ahead, hips rolled forward to keep that arch in your lower back, and you're going to squeeze that pillow pretty hard and hold for a second. And as you squeeze hard, you're going to spread your fingers out, curl the top knuckles down, arms straight out. Pin your shoulder blades down and back. So you're actually squeezing your shoulder blades down towards each other and away from your ears. So keeping the hips rolled forward, shoulder blades squeezed back. You're going to circle around your own hand. Like you're just making small circles. You're going up and forward in the direction of your thumb. Shoulder blades squeezed. We're going to do about 40 of these. And don't forget to squeeze that pillow. We're engaging all the deep muscles of your hips here, all the stabilizers, all these hip muscles attach into your knee. The knee bone is the same bone as the hip bone. It's the femur, the largest bone in your body, which connects the hip to the knee. So any motion or dysfunction in the hip is going to lead to dysfunction in the knee. Shoulder blade squeezed. Now, same grip. Rotate your thumbs behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades back and backwards. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep that pillow squeezed as well. Lots of things to think about. Multitasking, but you can do it. And just get to 40 and relax. Okay, you should be sweating almost by now. All right, now just after those two exercises, just stand there for a second and close your eyes. And notice where your weight is now. Notice if it's still towards your toes or if it was way back on your heels before. Just notice it should feel more centered either way. So get a sense of that and where you feel it now, because your body position has already changed after those two exercises, and maybe even your knee pain has changed. But we're not quite done. We're going to do 2 more exercises. This one you're going to need to lie down on your back. So you're going to lie down on your back, bend your knees, arms relaxed out to your sides. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, and you're going to lift, not with your hands, but with your leg muscles, that leg up in the air. Now while you're here, you're going to take this right knee, you're going to push it out away from you, again with your leg muscles, as you pull this left knee back. Now you might feel a big stretch in this right hip. You may not. If it's too much, just lower your leg down, but keep pulling this left knee back towards you. We want the muscles of this left thigh really working hard. We want them to wake up. So here we go. We're pulling that knee back, that left knee back, as we push the right knee away from you, creating this tug of war. And what we're doing here is we're addressing any hip rotation, hip imbalance that you have, which anytime you have one-sided knee pain, there's always hip rotation going on. And we're going to counterbalance that with this exercise. And you'll notice the left thigh muscle or into the hip, it's going to start to talk to you, and that's a good thing. We want that. You're going to hold this for about 1 minute. 30 seconds to 1 minute. You want to hold it long enough that you feel this thigh working. And I've worked with people where they didn't feel it for 2 minutes or sometimes more. So if that's what it takes, keep going. I'm feeling it pretty quickly here. Okay, we're gonna switch legs. So left ankle over the right knee. Push the left knee away from you as you pull your right knee back. So right knee is gonna go to about 90 degrees if you can. Left knee is gonna push away from you. Relax your shoulders. Breathe. And again, pull that right knee back, push the left knee away. Try and relax your shoulders all the way. We don't want them to help, and we definitely don't want you holding this knee with your hands. Completely defeats the purpose of the exercise, which is to get the work into the front of this right thigh. So no hands, arms relaxed, out to your side, shoulders relaxed. And try and breathe. Feel the work creep into the front of that right thigh or that right hip. That's what we want. We want it working pretty good now. And it shouldn't take too long, but again, if it does, this is really easy to you, then work harder, pull that right knee back more, push the left knee away, create that tug of war. And if it takes more than a minute, so be it. Okay, and relax, last exercise. For this one, you're gonna bring your legs straight out in front of you. Now, for some of you, you won't be able to get in the position where you're able to come off your hands. If that's the case, you put your hands behind you, you sit up as tall as you can, push your knees down, flex your feet back, and you try and sit up as tall as you can with those knees locked out. Really contract those thighs, and you're gonna hang out here. If you can come off your hands, roll your hips forward to create an arch in the back, push those knees down, sit up as tall as you can, and you're gonna hang out right here for about 30 seconds, a minute if you can, but you'll notice that these thigh muscles are working hard, and they should. And again, if you can't sit up like this, that's okay. Do the best you can. If you need to put your hands behind you, put an arch in your back there, push those knees down, contract your thighs. Obviously, it's ideal if you can sit up tall, and you want those feet pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Really try and create an arch in your lower back, push the knees down, lock them out, hanging out here for another 10 seconds or so. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And come on up, shake it out, stand there, close your eyes. Where is the weight in your feet right now? And how do you feel? Walk around, test your knee, see how it feels. I would do this at least once a day, maybe twice a day if you're experiencing a lot of pain. And pretty quickly, you should find that it comes out. That knee pain should shift and it should move and hopefully disappear. So thanks for joining me today, and there's lots more where this came from. So I hope to see you soon.